Tank's been put on the standard race strategy and tyres, so not going to be a great race for him. As we have the 5 red lights are on, and we are away for Revolution Tier 1. Christoph gets a great start compared to Mac Attack. It's right on board with him as Sakir is going to be trying to go side by side into turn 1. Let's see if there's any incidents or if we are going to be clean and plain sailing into turn 1. There is a little bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes back there. That is Jacob and Sem. Side by side we have a guy around. It's TS in the Red Bull. A little bit of contact there between Jacob and Sem. Milan Langer, and it is cars off in the back. Not looking good for the McLaren guys. So they are back there in P14, P15. Oh, a little bit of a moment for Sem there. He's going to have a little bit of a rejoin. And I think we are all good. Philip is up into P9. That's a great start for him. Let's have a quick look at the position changes. He's up 6, so Philip is up to P9 in the Kick Sauber. But it is an unchanged top 3 as Tank has a bit of a moment there on the soft tyres. Philip says thank you very much. That is me up to P8 and 7 positions gained for the Kick Sauber driver. Off to pick up for Gelman, not having a great start, down 6 positions there, and that is a moment for Jacob in the Ferrari. Hopefully he doesn't have too much wing damage, but that sounds like a pretty hefty hit, and that will be a pit for another wing, I'm afraid. Lap number 2, Christoph still in the lead by 4 tenths. Mac Attack in P2, Sakir P3. That is unchanged as we go down into turn 1. No fights in the background, but Tank is 2 tenths behind Philip. That's probably not where you want to be in the dirty air on a full tank of fuel. So we have Jacob retiring and leaving possession. Loft Pickle not having the best start to his Tier 1 career in Revolution. P13 had a bit of contact there, I'm assuming, with one of the McLaren guys. So we ride on board with Sem now after that little bit of a moment at the start. I believe he's down 4 positions there. Let's get the tyres up. There shouldn't be too much difference in strategy apart from the guys that did disconnect. Obviously you can see that's Tank and McLean. They've been put on the soft tyres. Sem going for a little bit of different strategy on the hard tyres, which will obviously come into play later on in the race with these medium guys. Having a little bit of switchover period there, so there will be a little bit of difference in pace to start with. As we come around now, DRS will be enabled. Christoph has got a bit of a gap now. Obviously the guys behind will have the dirty air. Lap number 3 now starting. DRS is now enabled. Let's see who is smarter with their ERS and who is going to be not so smart with their ERS, as there is already a bit of a gap between Venchok and he didn't reply to my ping, so I'm just going to call him Moik. You're just going to have to live with it, mate. You didn't reply to my ping. So Moik in P4, Milan Langer with his good friend Venchok in P5 and P6. Philip now up to 7th. And hanging on to the back of the Aston Martin driver. See, them softs are going to be cooked within a few laps. A few drivers still opting in for the flick method into corners, which is going to make your mediums last probably about 6 laps, as Philip has a bit of a wide entry and it's going to inhibit him for this second DRS straight. Doesn't look like it has too much, to be honest, as he's got a hell of an exit compared to Tank. Be interesting to see who goes for moves and who's going to play the long game. So we are now 10% through the race. I think the spectator counts in F125 are a lot better, a lot smoother. As speaking of not so smooth, actually, in the background you have a Tank who's had a bit of a moment. Now we want Stefan wanting to take advantage of that. Down into turn 1, he won't have enough straight line speed for that, I'm afraid. Curry going for a move on McLean in the background, and Clean going for the scenic route on the exit turn 1. Holtman out a little bit on the rejoin there. That's something you got to watch out for if you do go a bit wide through that first chicane. Not the start of dreams, like I said earlier, for the McLaren guys. TS is going to stick with it and hope for a safety car. I hope that the guys ahead do have a little bit of a fight. Mac Attack has gone for the move on Christoph. I don't know what I missed there, because there was quite a huge gap going down to turn 1. Apologise for that, and there's a bit of a spin back there for McLaren driver again, McLean. I think he said he did bolt on a quali setup, so that's probably not going to be ideal for the race. These guys have got to work together now, the top 4, to get away from the rest of the pack. And John just missed out on DRS there, 1.3 seconds between himself and the Alpine driver ahead. But he is going to have Milan potentially going for a move here. He is saving up the ERS Milan. He is comfortably in P6. Opting for a bit of that clean air down the straight. Don't know if that actually works in this game. I don't know how far the dirty air does go. I'm going to assume it will help engine temperature if it does come into play. Then Jock losing even more time to these guys ahead now, 1.8 seconds, that's half a second in just over one sector there. Attack still keeps the lead in the V-carb ahead of Christoph, and McLean does retire from the race. I don't know where he retired though, because it has caused a VSC, so we are unable to see because everyone has passed him. That is going to neutralise the race a little bit, and I'm hoping no one will get a drive through, but there is always one, so I'm not getting my hopes up at all. Just keep an eye on your delta, guys. It's not that hard. Although it can be quite difficult, I suppose, through the corners, especially this sector here. But who will get the jump? It'll be, as you see, look, in the top 3. Oh, and Christoph's going to opt for an early pit stop. And I thought it would be a one-stop race, straight up. But I guess these guys are going to be going for the 2-stop. Quite a few of that are opting actually. There's Christoph, Benjok and Sem, as Jelmer is the one that I mentioned does get the drive-through penalty. Will he be able to serve this straight away? Because it was yellow flags when he was on pit entry. Let's have a look. It's yellow flags VSC on pit entry. The green flag as he was entering. And it is going to allow him to do the drive-through. So that's, I suppose, handy in a way, but not ideal. And you can see with that VSC restart, Attack has got the upper hand on his teammates here. He is now out of DRS, and Moik, I hate saying that name though, but he's just got back into DRS, and Milan Langer, now that Benjok is in pit, has now got a 2.5 second gap to the car ahead. So he has got a bit of work to do before he can get back into the top 4 now. He does have Philip for company, who is now up. After those guys are pit, I'm going to assume 10 positions. Yep, 10 positions on the dot. So if he can hold on to Milan, that'd be great going for the Kickstarter driver. But behind that, you can see Stefan is right on the back of Tank. That's not going to be ideal for dirty air through those final corners, but this should be a pretty straightforward move for the Williams driver. Tank doesn't put up a fight. No need to at all. These guys can work together now. But Tank's soft tyres will be starting to get a little bit of wear and not make it too easy for him through these twisty turns. It'll be quite a bit dirty air, but I think Stefan now with this crossover period should quite comfortably get away from Tank. And Christoph has bolted on a set of the hard tyres. He's got no one for company. Be interested to see if he does go for the 1-stop or the 2-stop. I'm going to imagine it's the 2-stop. I don't know what the tyre wear is on this game, sorry. So I'm going to imagine it is a 2-stop. Go Bucks in tier 6 yesterday done a 2-stop, which I know he done a 1-stop, sorry, didn't he? But everyone else done a 2-stop. But I imagine with the VSC as well, he's going to gain a bit of time on the guys ahead too. Coming around to start lap number 8, Attack is still in the lead. So V-carb 1-2. But Moik in the Alpine, it's going to look to change that. He's in hot lap, but I imagine he'll be far too far back. Coming down into turn 1, Milan is now 3 seconds behind Moik in the Aston Martin. He's got Philip for company. Stefan just staying ahead of Tank, who is clinging on for dear life on his soft tyres. Sem setting the fastest lap on a fresh set of mediums. And he is with Benjok down into turn 1, and these guys are not looking to fight it out. These guys have pit. they want to work together. So we have a yellow flag down to turn 3. I think that's Lofty Pickle, who's had a bit of a moment. Or potentially Christoph, I don't know which one it was. That's going to do my head in when I actually race. The lockup's like a smokescreen. So Philip is he must have had a mistake through that lap there, because he's now outside of DRS. And the detection zone is after this corner here. He's using the ERS to try and get it back. I think he has just about got it, but runs a little bit wide. And he does have the DRS, but he's going to use all that ERS now to try and claw that gap back up. You can see it's 1.2 after washing wide through that final corner. And I think Milan Langer will be safe. So Lofty Pickle pulls into the pits for his first stop, and it's a 10-second penalty. It does get worse for Lofty Pickle, and that is game over for the Haas driver. We have 3 retirements, not even halfway through the race. And I think this season, with the new point system change, I believe it's the top 12 that now score points. So everyone is going to be scoring points if they were in a race. Obviously, it's pre-season. Everyone would be scoring points bar Chelmer. Oh, it's just Lofty Pickle's car coming back onto the track. So we have a yellow flag, and that is Curry in the Aston Martin, who's had a bit of a moment through turn number 9, and that is 3 cars going through. Obviously Venjok and Sem have already pit, and Christoph as well actually, so these guys are now going to be starting to bunch up together. Christoph, remember, was in the lead of this race, and he's now going to have Sem and Venjok for company, who I believe weren't in the lead pack. So obviously them hard tyres are going to be a slight disadvantage to Sem and Venjok. So this will come into play for Christoph later on in the race. At the moment, Sem is just missing out on DRS by 0.4 of a second. Just going to have to make the most of their medium tyres. But obviously you don't want to push too hard on this game, because tyre wear is a factor. Milan is just hanging on in there in that 3-second gap. Lost that 0.3, but obviously Philip has had not the greatest of luck actually since that little bit of a moment and dropping out DRS, because he's lost 3 seconds to Milan, and is now coming into the clutches of the Williams drivers behind, and Stefan will be looking for a P5, net P5. Well, actually, no, it won't be net P5 because of the guys behind. Provisional P5, we'll say. And you can see Tank is now starting to drop off on the soft tyres. There will be time to pit very soon for the Mercedes driver. Will it be this lap? It will be this lap. And I imagine it will be a 2-stop, considering the game put him on the soft tyres to start with. Stefan does get past Philip and down into turn 1. It will be a set of hard tyres for Tank. And I'll be honest, I don't know what the tyre life is here, so I can't say whether he is going to be going to the end or not. I imagine he will potentially will if it's F125, but obviously this is F125. I'm yet to test any sort of tyre wear around Spain, so it'll be interesting to see. As Sem is now within the DRS of Christoph, back in P7. Has used a bit of ERS to do that though. Christoph does have the bragging rights with, well, he is using a bit of hot lap now. Did have over 70% before that DRS straight. Sem is harvesting now though, coming after the Sector 2 split. Managed to shake off Venjok a little bit though, but he will be looking to pass Christoph as we have Philip into the pits. Well, it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out compared to the ones that pit with the VSC. And you can see by quite a bit that Christoph, Sem and Venjok are easily going to pass the Kick Sauber driver. But will Sem go for it down into turn 1? He is a bit too far back and lost a bit of time through sector number 2 and 3. That dirt, yeah, is going to be causing him a bit of pain. So he will be looking to get past Christoph, and Philip does rejoin in P11, just ahead of Tank. Obviously, them cold tyres going to take a little bit of time to warm up. Tank, that one lap that he's had will be very handy now as the tyres will be warmed up. See the amount he's gained through that corner, but he does get washed out because of that dirt, yeah. And TS has had a bit of a moment, and he has to rejoin behind Tank now. Let's see as we start lap number 13 now. Moik was 3 tenths behind Sakir. Sakir does have a bit of a moment. You can see all the ERS that Moik has saved up to get past Sakir. Stefan gets the first track limits penalty of the race in P5. At the moment that will not have a part in his race, but obviously if there is a safety car, game over for P5. But these guys, I imagine, are going to be looking to do the one stop as Sem does make light work of Christoph down into turn number 1 and 2. That should set him free as Venjog is dropped back a little bit from these two. Still in the mix nonetheless, so Jalma does get past TS as TS does pit, I imagine, for the final time in this race on a set of hard tyres. I believe in all of the pre-season races that have happened, well, not pre-season races, shall I say, social races that have happened, I think Milan has won every single one. And I hate to say it, but I think his 100% record might be coming to an end. If by some miracle he wins this, I don't know how he will. I suppose he's still in the mix. He does get an undercut or something, but it's going to take a miracle for Milan to win this. But Christoph is staying within DRS of Sem, and that is causing the gap to get a bit bigger between himself and Venjog. See Tank and Philip working together down in P10 and P11, trying to get the undercut on the guys that are yet to pit, the likes of Makatak, Sakir, Moik, Milan and Stefan. Be interesting to see the tyre deficit between Sem and Stefan now. It's at 6.3 seconds at the moment. 5-6 laps tyre life between the two. We have the guys in front, should I say, peeling into the pits for their first stop of the race, and I imagine this will be a set of halves and go to the end for these guys. Sakir, Moik and Stefan all pulling into the pits. Let's ride on board with I think Philip will be the closest to these guys as they come out of the pits. He passes Stefan, and Sakir and Moik are nowhere to be seen. Obviously they are on the fresher tyres. Venjok, Sem and Christoph have got a massive undercut, but obviously 9 lap fresher tyres is going to be a ridiculous amount. These guys should close that 3.5 second gap within no time. Obviously they will have cold tyres coming out the pits, but yeah, 9 laps is a huge deficit, so I imagine these guys will either nurse their tyres to the end or pit for another set of tyres. As see how much dirty air affects the guys through turn number 9. And Sakir's teammate Makatak peeling off into the pits, just about getting the car slowed down. I'm going to ride on board with Sakir because it will be curious to see if the undercut is OP here. I believe it's around a 2-second gap between these guys just before the pit. Around the final corner now. McAtack has completed his pit stop. Where will he come out? Quite a bit down the road, actually. And just peels off and sets himself behind Venjog. Quite a bit. That's actually quite surprising that not been really much difference between these guys in undercut or overcut. It's just been stalemate in time gain or time loss. See, with a 10 lap tyre difference, McAtack is going to be wanting to make light work of Venjog. See, Sakir has nearly got into DRS after being about 2 to 3 seconds ahead. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Sakir, and with all that ERS saved up, it's now going to be light work of Venjog for McAtack. Milan pits on lap number 17 onto a fresh set of hards and should come out around, well, just behind. Oh, actually, it's going to be close into turn 1. Tank and Milan just tucks up behind Tank, but Philip is going to be wanting to get past Milan because he will be on cold tyres round the outside of turn 3. He thinks better of it. Down into turn number 3, Milan does slightly defend a little bit quicker, and that is a very, very late break from Philip. He's going to be wanting to make light work of Milan, but I don't think he's going to be able to. I think these three are now going to be working together to close up the gap to the cars ahead. 6 lap pressure tyres, Milan is going to be wanting to actually get past Tank. Around turn number 9 now, and it'll be interesting to see if Milan will play the team game with these guys, or if he'll be wanting to get past. I imagine it'll be the latter. Uses a bit of ERS just to close the gap a little bit. Don't want to be too close because of the dirty air. And he's nailed that final corner, and you can see ERS enabled, DRS enabled. This should be a pretty easy pass for Milan Langer, and Philip is too far back to go for the move 2, and that is P7 for the Aston Martin driver. See how the strategy is starting to come into play for McAtack and Sakir. 10 lap fresher tyres, now 1.6 second gap between these guys. Surely Christoph and Sem will have to pit once again after that VSC pit stop. And it'll be interesting to see if McAtack did actually get DRS. They did. Just about squeezed in, as Milan does get a 3-second penalty after pushing a little bit too hard to get out of the DRS of Tank. And McAtack now closes in on his rivals in P1 and P2. See the gap he's pulled away from Sakir. You remember they were about 1.3 seconds apart not even 2 laps ago. And the gap is now 2.5. Let's ride on board with McAtack because he's got to make light work of these guys just to stop his teammate, or the threat from his teammate, sorry. He's got to choose his moments though. I very much doubt this will be one of them. Let's go on board with the helicopter cam. Not even 2 car lengths split in P3 and P2. Is it going to be moved down into turn 1? It's going to be light work for Mac Attack. It's not going to be close enough. Down into turn number 1, he slots into P2. That's one of the cars dealt with for Mac Attack. And Christoph is now the next car in line for the V-Carb driver. You can see Sakir has actually gained as well. 1.7 is now the gap between these guys. Doesn't have much ERS to play with though, Sakir. Unlike the guy behind him, Oikuli. Down into turn 1, TS and Curry having a bit of action. So Christoph peels off into the pits before Mac Attack can make the moves. That is going to be the 2-stop for the Red Bull. I think it was a no-brainer really for these guys, both Christoph and Sem. I think it was it's bold to go for the strategy. It's a yellow flag for the Aston Martin of Curry, I believe. But yeah, it was a bold strategy to go for pitting under VSC, but yeah, it's always going to bite them in the arse later on in the race. Still with fresh mediums coming up P8 and P9 respectively, I think they can still work their way through the field. But that does set free Mac Attack in the V-Carb, and obviously Sakir has now picked up a 3-second penalty at some point. And that should be a Alpine or a V-Carb sandwich for the Alpine driver, Moik. He never pinged me to tell me how to pronounce his name, so he's known as Moik now. Curry retires from the session. That is now top 12 finishing. Like I mentioned earlier, the new point system means that everyone will score a point if this were an actual race, but obviously it's pre-season. It's right on board with the little mid-pack battle going on here between Tank, Philip, and just missing out on DRS Stefan. I think he actually got it just there. A little bit of grass though means he runs wide, and he does get it. Just about. You can see how much dirty air affects the guys in turn 1 and turn 2. Washes out wide before the kicks out the driver. Sem picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help him on his charge on the fresh mediums. Interesting to see if Philip can get past Tank, but you see Tank is being very conservative with his ERS for this reason entirely, because he wants to keep Philip behind. You can see Philip is burning, but he stands no chance whatsoever. So I'm now in game chat. So my party has decided to the party decided to shit itself. So Sem gets past Christoph. Despite the 3-second penalty, he's up to P8 as it stands, but obviously when he crosses the line it will be P9. With the fresh air, I think Mac Attack is making light work of his teammate at the moment. Whenever Mac Attack did hit traffic, it was fluctuating between 1.3, 1.4. See with the fresh air now, 2.5 is the gap. I'm surprised the Alpine driver hasn't gone for a move past Sakir. Seems quite comfortable going at the pace he is. see Stefan is going to be trying to go for a move here. Down into turn 1, Philip is not going to have any of it. Side by side, and Philip decides better of it and tucks behind the Williams driver. Up into P6 now for Stefan, but obviously he does have that 3-second penalty. But he will be looking to make moves on the Mercedes driver of Tank next. I think in terms of battling, this is probably the only, to put it politely, interesting battle going on track. Is the battle for P5 at the moment. Taking penalties out of the equation as TS speeds into the pit lane. It's not been the ideal race for the Red Bull driver as he pits into intermediates, and I think that is going for a little bit of a drifting session. Hopefully you won't get in the way too much of the lead runners. Don't really want to ruin their race. And he does think better of it. I imagine he'll pull just in front of Milan Langer there. Philip decides to come into the pits on lap number 25, so he's had enough of his 13 lap old hards. Whoa, look at that dirt. Yeah, free turn number 3. Stefan's not having any of it. It's an interesting strategy from Philip. Bolts on a set of fresh mediums. And 7.5 seconds behind the guys at pit 4 laps ago, who are on the 2-stop, obviously pitted under VSC. Christoph has now closed the gap though to Stefan, so it's good going from these guys. No penalties to his name, so he does technically have P6 as it stands, but he will want to get the track position as well, the Red Bull driver. And Sem is very, very close behind in P8 too. And now it's going to be 4-car battle for P5. Be interested to see if Stefan clears the Mercedes driver. You can see Tank saved a full ERS battery for this straight, and I don't know what's gone on there, but Stefan had a bit of a moment, and that's caused Christoph to go wide. Sem says thank you very much, up to P7. Don't know what the hell happened there, as Stefan and Tank are going to go side by side down into turn number 1. That's a bit of a voice crack for me, but Tank gets the position. Stefan tries to hold it around the outside, goes for the switchback, tucks up the inside, side by side, and that's not something you want to do. A little bit of Rosberg Hamilton action going on there between Tank and Stefan, and gets washed out wide, and Tank has now lost out 3 positions in 3 corners down into P8, and that is a great little battle between Stefan and Tank there. Now Sem and Christoph have been set free from the Mercedes driver and looking to close down on Sem. Sem is going to look to go for the move early for the main straight. Will Stefan try and get the switch back? I think he'll get washed out, no. And on the fresher tyres, Sem does make light work. Hopefully get a good exit here to create a bit of a gap between himself and Stefan. Christoph will be wanting to get past Stefan too. He saved up the ERS for it. A little bit wide though, and that's going to inhibit his exit. Tank does pit. See burning the ERS now. Christoph and Stefan are going to be side by side down into turn number 1. Late on the brakes from Christoph. That's a good move from the Red Bull driver. Stefan now down into P7. And the charge carries on between Sem and Christoph, trying to create a gap between himself and the Williams drivers. I think 9.2 seconds in about 6-7 laps is a bit unlikely. See at the top, Makatak has increased his gap to 4.2 seconds between himself and Sakir now. I think the top 3 are pretty set as it stands. Lan is in his own race in P4. Stefan has managed to hold on to DRS just about on these guys ahead. And yeah, you can see now he's just managed to get in DRS, but a little bit of grass, a little bit of a poor exit there, and I think he will drop out after the next lap. Sakir has left the session, well that's great. Let me just invite him back in. Where is he? Sakir. Well, that is going to be a certified P2 for the Alpine driver. Milan might even get that podium now, because obviously Sakir and himself do both have 3-second penalties. Sakir joins back, so he should take over his car. Hopefully, he'll stay in the DRS of Moik. You'll see his car's ghosted at the moment when he takes control. It will go back into a normal car. Milan getting that gap to under 2 seconds. Christoph and Sem down into turn 1. Christoph stays ahead. You can see Sakir's car is still ghosted, so he's still not back in despite joining. There we go, mid corner, so not ideal, and that should drop him out of the DRS of Moik, but he does have ERS to play with. See, Milan is now 2.5 seconds behind Sakir. Christoph and Sem got that gap under 9 seconds to Milan as well. Like I said, unless there's a safety car, I don't think this is going to be enough for these guys that pit twice. You can see out of the guys on track, will be Moik, Sakir, and Stefan. They've got to be the tyre whisperers to get these tyres. I think it will be 18 laps by the time they finish. So a bit of grass there and a bit washed out wide for the Red Bull driver Christoph. Is Sem going to look to go for the move down into turn number 1? I think Christoph's just going to let him by. These guys can work together now. Christoph does go a little bit wider there. And the guys that did pit for a 2-stop that weren't under VSC are going to be looking to reunite again down in P9 and P10. Philip obviously pit for their mediums 5 laps ago, and Tank on the 3-lap old soft tyres. Only 1.4 between them. Now is Sakir going to stay behind the Alpine driver? Or is he going to look to go to the move? He has absolutely no ERS left. Light work of him. Back up into P2 despite the disconnection. And Milan is closing that gap. I don't think it'll be enough. With now 3 laps to go. Makatak has had a dominant race up in P1. 7.2 seconds the gap now for the V-Carb driver. And this should be a pretty plain sailing race finish for him. I say that, Milan's now 1.9 seconds behind. 1.8. He has plenty of ERS to play with. And 2-lap pressure tyres, which doesn't sound like much, but it will make all the difference coming into the final stages of this race. And this should get pretty interesting, I hope. It's the final laps of this race. 1.6 the gap now, so Milan is definitely closing up at a rate of knots. If these guys don't play ball, I can imagine Milan being part of this podium race. Moik is going to be playing the team game here. Sticking behind Sakir. He's lagging a little bit. I don't know if it's just me. The penultimate lap now, though. 1.4. Can Milan close 4 tenths in the whole lap to get within DRS of these guys and put a fight up for the final lap? I think he might actually do it. I don't know how he's closing this gap up. I think Sakir might be saving the ERS. He's got to be. He must be. He's on 30% and then none. And look at that. This is going to be a podium scrap now for these guys. Moik will and surely get P2 with no penalty to his name, unless he is put under pressure by either Sakir or Milan. But it will be a fight to the death between Sakir and Milan as we round off. Makatak starts the final lap of the race, 9.1 seconds. Tank has left the race. I'll quickly invite him. This is not the time, Tank, honestly. There you go, Merry Christmas. As we come back to the action, I think Sakir is going to stay in P2 into turn 1. But these guys are going to be looking for P2 on track. Sakir has 9% battery to his name. Moik is burning 52% and Milan on 62%, but obviously dirty air will come into play. There's a lot of corners that will be affected by dirty air. Tank's AI has big brain moments and peels off into the pits on the final lap. I think unless Moik can get a move done down into this turn 10, Sakir does have a bit of a moment, but I think this is going to be standings out on track. Obviously it will get P2. But after all that, the pre-season race, Makatak round the final corner, and he will cross the line to win the pre-season race here in Revolution Tier 1. Dominant display from the V-Carb driver. And I think Sakir is just about going to hang on to P2 on track, but it will be Moik who finishes in P2, but Sakir P3. Milan with a late charge at the end, P4. Unlucky to miss out on that podium there. Sem, these two stopper guys, crossing the line in P5, P6 respectively. Stefan holding on with 18 lap old tards, P7. Venjok round in the final corner to just finished behind his teammate in P8. Philip doing a bit of a dodging and weaving around this final corner. Started off with a lot of potential. The two-stop didn't quite work out for him as he crossed the line into P10. And yeah, a sad and sorry Tank. I think he's now done the free stop. Yeah, the free stop. Thanks to his AI. Joins the Kick-Sauber stricken on the track. Finished P10. Gentleman, not been the race for him. Bit of a quiet one at the back there after a few moments at the start of the race. But he will be the final finisher for this race in P11. A few guys complaining about track limits and tyre wear. I think it's probably going to be one of the worst tracks for it, tyre wear. Obviously Qatar will be a huge track for it, but I think this is now going to be the new meta to look after your tyres. And dominant display from Makatak has proven that is the case. Let's quickly have a look at the standings as we have a look at the race winner. Fastest lap from Tank. Driver of the day, Philip. He did have a great charge at the start, but didn't quite work for him out at the end. Venjok, most overtakes, and cleanest driver, Moik. And there we go. There's the final race standings. Makatak, Moik, and Sakir are your podium. Top 10 are Milan, Christoph, Sem, Stefan, Venjok, Philip, and Tank. And there are your DNFers at the bottom. Lofty Pickle hoping to come back with a better race than that for his Tier 1 debut. But there we go. That is the pre-season race for Revolution Season 13. Make sure you join in next time for, I believe it's... I can't think of the second pre-season race. My mind has gone blank, but there will be on one next week. So tune in for that. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.